You don't belong here. Those were my sister's exact words. She said them out loud. At my father's funeral. In front of everyone. I was standing by the open casket, my hands shaking, staring at my dad's face for the last time, when my older sister, Lauren, stepped between me and him. She didn't whisper. She didn't pull me aside.
She pointed at me.
And then she said the reason. She's not his real daughter. The room froze. I felt my chest lock up like I forgot how to breathe. People turned. Heads tilted. Someone gasped. My aunt dropped her purse. My mom's knees buckled. I opened my mouth to speak, but no sound came out. Lauren kept going. She was adopted. Dad told me years ago. She has no right to be here. That's when the funeral director started walking toward us. And right before they touched my arm, everything in my life cracked open. But listen, before you decide who's lying and who's telling the truth, please stay with me. If this story makes your heart race even a little, tap like, watch till the end, and subscribe. Because what happened next changed my name, my family, and my freedom forever. My name is Emily Carter. And before that day, I thought I had a normal family. I grew up in Cleveland, Ohio, in a small white house with blue shutters. My dad, Robert Carter, worked as a city bus driver. He smelled like coffee and winter air when he came home. My mom, Susan, packed my lunches with little notes that said things like "love you forever." Lauren was 3 years older than me. She was loud.
Perfect.
The kind of girl teachers loved and boys noticed. I was quieter. I liked drawing and reading on the porch steps. But Dad loved us both. Or at least I thought he did. When I was 9, he taught me how to ride a bike in the church parking lot. When I fell, he picked me up and said, "You're tougher than you think, Em." When I was 16, he cried when I got into Lincoln High School's honors program. When I was 22, he walked me across the stage at my college graduation and squeezed my hand like he didn't want to let go. That's why the funeral hurt so bad. Dad died fast. A heart attack at the bus depot. No warning. No goodbye. The church was full that morning. Coworkers in dark suits. Neighbors. Old friends. People telling stories about my dad's kindness. I wore a black dress my mom picked out. Lauren wore red lipstick and stood tall like she owned the room. I didn't know she was planning anything. When she blocked me from the casket, I thought she was just grieving wrong. People do strange things when they're hurting. But then she said it. Not his real daughter. The funeral director gently touched my elbow. "Miss, maybe we should step outside." My legs felt numb as they led me away from my father's body. My mom screamed Lauren's name. Lauren didn't look back. Outside the church, the cold air slapped my face. I felt small.
Fake.
Like someone had erased me. I wanted to run back inside and shout that she was lying. But a part of me was scared. Because Dad had secrets. When I was 12, I once heard my parents fighting late at night. My name came up. Then the word papers. Then silence when I reached the stairs. When I was 15, I found a locked box in Dad's closet. He took it from me fast. Too fast. I told myself it meant nothing. Now, standing outside my father's funeral, I wasn't so sure. The service went on without me. I sat on the cold steps, listening to muffled hymns through the doors. I cried until my head hurt. No one came out. Not even my mom. After the burial, Lauren walked past me like I didn't exist. "You embarrassed yourself," she said. "Just go home." That night, my mom finally spoke. She looked tired. Smaller. Like someone drained her. "Emily," she said softly, "your father loved you." That wasn't an answer. I asked her the question burning my throat. "Am I adopted?" She didn't say yes.
She didn't say no.
She just started crying. The next morning, Lauren called a family meeting. She said we needed to handle things like adults. She brought folders.
Documents.
Smiled the whole time. She told me Dad left everything to her. The house. The accounts. Everything. "And since you're not legally his child," she said, tapping the papers, "you get nothing." I stood up, so fast my chair fell. "You lied at the funeral," I said. You planned that. She leaned in close and whispered, "Prove it." That's when I said the worst thing I could have said. "I'm not leaving this house." Her smile vanished. She picked up her phone and dialed. 10 minutes later, police lights flashed through our living room windows. An officer stepped inside and asked for me by name. Lauren crossed her arms. "She's trespassing," she said calmly. "She doesn't belong here." The officer turned to me. "Ma'am," he said, "I'm going to need you to come with us." And as cold metal snapped around my wrists, I realized my sister wasn't just erasing me from the family. She was trying to erase me from my father's life forever. The handcuffs were tight.
Cold.
Heavy. I kept telling myself this was a mistake. That if I just stayed calm, someone would fix it. The police car smelled like plastic and old coffee. The door shut with a sound that felt final. I watched my childhood home through the window as we pulled away. The porch light was still on. The same one Dad used to leave on for me. I pressed my forehead to the glass and whispered, "Dad." At the station, they took my phone, my bag, my necklace. The one my dad gave me when I turned 18. A little silver heart.
"Shoes off," the officer said.
I did what I was told. They put me in a small room with a metal bench. No windows. Just a buzzing light. I sat there shaking, replaying Lauren's smile over and over in my head. I asked to call my mom. "She knows where you are," the officer said without looking at me. Hours passed. Or minutes. I couldn't tell. Finally, a woman in a gray suit came in. She had a calm voice and tired eyes. "Emily Carter," she said. "I'm a public defender. My name is Janet Miller." I felt relief rush through me so fast, I almost cried.
"I didn't do anything," I said.
My sister lied. Janet nodded slowly. "I know this is hard. But right now, you're being charged with trespassing and resisting removal."
"I didn't resist," I said.
"I just said I wasn't leaving."
She sighed.
"Your sister says you threatened her." My heart dropped. She said what? "She claims you screamed at her and lunged." "That's not true," I said. "She's doing this because she wants everything."
Janet studied me.
"Do you have proof you're legally his daughter?" "I grew up in that house," I said. "My birth certificate." She shook her head gently. "Lauren submitted documents saying you were adopted and never finalized." I felt sick. They moved me to a holding cell. A woman with red hair sat across from me.
She didn't talk.
Just stared at the wall. That night, I slept on a hard bench with a thin blanket. I dreamed of my dad calling my name and not being able to reach me. The next morning, they took my fingerprints. That made it real. Janet came back later with news. "Your mother didn't contest your sister's claim," she said quietly. I laughed. A broken sound. "That's impossible." "She told the court she's confused and grieving," Janet said. "She wouldn't confirm your status." My chest burned. "She raised me," I said. "She kissed my scraped knees. She tucked me in." Janet nodded. "I know." I was released that evening with a court date. When I got outside, Lauren was waiting by her car. She wore sunglasses. Smiled like she won something. "You should have just left," she said. I looked at her. Really looked. "You did this on purpose," I said. She leaned close.
"Dad chose you."
I fixed that. I walked away shaking. I had nowhere to go. My best friend let me sleep on her couch. I couldn't eat. I couldn't stop thinking. The court date came fast. The judge read the charges. Trespassing. Disorderly conduct. Lauren sat across the room, calm and neat. Then her lawyer stood up. "Your Honor," he said, "we have reason to believe the defendant also took property belonging to my client." My stomach dropped. "What property?" the judge asked. Lauren stood. "My father's watch," she said. "The one he wore every day." The room went quiet. I shook my head hard. "I don't have it." But Lauren reached into her bag and placed something on the table. Dad's watch. The same scratch on the side. The same worn strap. I stared at it, my heart pounding. "That's not possible," I whispered. The judge looked at me. "Miss Carter," he said, "you are now facing a theft charge." My knees gave out. As the officer stepped toward me again, I realized my sister wasn't done. She was building a case to bury me completely. The word theft echoed in my head like a siren. I felt the room tilt as the officer took my arm again. This time, no one looked surprised, like they were already done believing me. "I didn't take it," I said, my voice cracking. "That watch was never in my room. I swear." Lauren didn't even look at me. She stared straight ahead, calm, steady, like this was just paperwork to her. The judge ordered me held overnight while they sorted things out. Just like that, I was back in a cell. This one was bigger, louder, women arguing, someone crying in the corner. The door slammed shut, and I slid down the wall until I was sitting on the cold floor. I kept thinking about the watch. Dad never let anyone touch it. He took it off only to sleep. The last time I saw it was the night before he died. He stood in the kitchen, tapping it against the counter while telling me not to skip breakfast. How did Lauren get it? I didn't sleep. Every time I closed my eyes, I saw my dad's face in the casket. Heard Lauren's voice saying I didn't belong. The next morning, Janet came to see me again. Her expression was different this time.
Tighter.
"This just got serious," she said. "The watch has your fingerprints on it." I laughed. A sharp, scared laugh. "Of course it does." I hugged my dad. I touched his hands. She nodded. "I know. But the prosecution is spinning it as motive. They're saying you felt entitled, that you took it because you thought you deserved something." "That's insane," I said. "I just wanted my family." Janet lowered her voice. "Lauren submitted another document." My heart sank. "What document?" "A statement from your father," she said slowly.
Signed.
Dated. It says he planned to tell you the truth, but never did. I felt dizzy. "What truth?" Janet hesitated. "That you were never legally adopted. That you were taken in temporarily." "No," I said. "That's not true." She slid a copy across the table. It looked like my dad's handwriting. Same loops. Same slant. I stared at the signature until my eyes burned. "He wouldn't do this," I whispered. "He loved me." Janet didn't argue. That scared me more than anything. The hearing that afternoon felt unreal. Lauren's lawyer talked about intent, about deception, about emotional instability. He said I was desperate, that I had snapped. When it was Lauren's turn to speak, she stood and looked straight at the judge. "I loved my sister," she said softly, "but she's been angry since Dad died. She said she deserved the watch, that it should have been hers." I stood up. "You're lying." The bailiff pushed me back down. The judge frowned at me like I was proving their point. I wanted to scream, to shake everyone, to make them see her smile, her calm, her plan. But my mouth stayed shut. After the hearing, I was released again, this time with stricter conditions. No contact with Lauren. No returning to the house. A warning that jail time was now possible. Possible. That word followed me everywhere. I walked out of the courthouse into bright sunlight that felt wrong. Too normal. Too happy for how broken I felt. My mom was waiting by the steps. She looked older, smaller, her eyes red. "Mom," I said, rushing toward her. She held up her hand. "Emily," she said quietly, "I need time."
Time.
"That's all I've ever given you," I said. "I need you to tell them the truth." She looked away. "I don't know what the truth is anymore." That hurt worse than the cuffs. I spent the next days trying to survive. Crashing on couches. Wearing the same clothes. Checking my phone, even though no one called. I requested my birth records. My school records. Anything. Everything said Carter. But the adoption paperwork? Missing.
Lauren had them. Or said she did.
Then one night, Janet called me. "They found something," she said. My heart raced. "What?" "The watch," she said. "In your backpack." I stopped breathing. "That's impossible," I said. "I don't even have a backpack." "They searched the one you were carrying when you were arrested the first time," she said. "It was hidden in the lining." I slid down the wall. "I didn't put it there," I whispered. Janet was quiet for a long moment. "Emily," she said, They're upgrading the charge. The word hit me like a punch. Upgrading to what? Felony theft, she said. And obstruction. I felt like I was falling into a hole with no bottom. The next morning, officers knocked on the door of my friend's apartment. This time, there was no confusion. They read me my rights. As they led me out in front of the neighbors, I saw Lauren across the street, sitting in her car, watching,
Smiling.
and as the cuffs clicked shut again, I realized my sister wasn't just trying to take my inheritance. She was trying to put me in prison. The jail door slammed behind me with a sound I'll never forget. That's when I finally broke. Not loud, not dramatic, just silent tears soaking into a gray blanket while I stared at a wall that wasn't mine. I kept thinking the same thing over and over. Dad wouldn't let this happen. But he was gone. And Lauren knew it. 2 days later, Janet came to see me again. Her walk was faster this time. Her eyes sharper. "Emily," she said, sitting down, "I need you to listen very carefully." I wiped my face. "If this is bad news, just say it."
"It's different," she said.
Your mother came forward. My heart jumped. "What did she say?" "She finally told the truth," Janet said. I leaned forward so hard my cuffs clinked. "Your father didn't adopt you," she said, "because he didn't need to." I blinked. "What do you mean?" Janet took a breath. "You are his biological daughter." The room went quiet. "No," I whispered. "That doesn't make sense." "Your mother had an affair," Janet said gently. "Years ago. Lauren knows. Your father knew. He chose to raise you anyway, as his own. Legally, emotionally, everything." My hands started shaking. "Then why?" I couldn't finish. "Because Lauren wasn't his," Janet said. The words landed like an explosion. "She found out when she was 18, Janet continued. "That's when the jealousy started. The anger. The planning." I felt sick. "The documents?"
I asked.
"Forged," Janet said. "Including the statement from your father. We matched the ink. The signature was traced. And the watch." I whispered. Janet's mouth tightened. "We found security footage from the house. Lauren put it in your backpack the night before the funeral." My knees gave out. "So, I'm free?" I asked. She smiled. "We're dismissing all charges." 2 days later, we were back in court. This time, I sat beside Janet. Not in cuffs. Lauren sat alone. The judge listened as evidence was shown. Videos. Forgery reports. DNA results. When the truth came out, Lauren screamed. She screamed at my mother. At the judge. At me. She stole everything. Lauren yelled. She stole my life. The judge banged the gavel. Lauren was arrested for evidence tampering, false reporting, and fraud. As they led her away, she locked eyes with me. For the first time, she looked scared. Afterward, my mom held me and cried like she never had before. "I'm so sorry," she said. "I was afraid of losing both of you." "You already did," I said softly. "I got my father's watch back. I wear it now, not because of revenge, but because when Lauren tried to erase me, the truth did the unthinkable. It set me free."